Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know, one thing I've come to notice, a lot of these kemetic guys that are always talking about Kemet, ancient Egypt, and their beliefs and their philosophy and how this is the origin of religion and things like this. You know, the people that study Egypt can only trace it back 10, 12,000 years. That's it. And we know from the bones they found that humans as we know them have been around for about 200,000 years. These people are very arrogant in thinking that these ideas and these concepts about God and religion and death and the afterlife, you know, only came about with the Egyptians, and that the Egyptians are actually telling the story accurately. They're telling the story from their perspective. But, you know, you have to understand that by the time Egypt becomes a cohesive society, humans have already been around a couple 100,000 years. Okay? So these ideas and these concepts and these stories, probably by the time the Egyptians write them down and paint them on the walls and carve them in stone, these ideas have probably undergone many changes. What makes you think that the Egyptians are the originators of these ideas and concepts? The Chinese themselves are descended from Africans that left Africa over 80,000 years ago. What, you think they didn't have ideas and concepts of life and death and resurrection and worship and these things when they left Africa and went to China? So what makes you think everything starts in Egypt? Okay? We just don't have all the information. We just don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. That's just one of the parts, one of the pieces of the puzzle that you have that you can actually study. But there are many other parts that just we don't have a record of it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But you believe that that is where this information was first codified and written down and recorded. You believe it, but that doesn't make it so. You could be right, but you could be wrong as well. Okay? From the Islamic perspective, we believe that God gave revelation to man, his creation. And from this man, which we believe is our father Adam, we have received this information down through the ages. So, but we believe that we have the correct information as revealed by the creator of man himself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? But you don't have any concrete proof that we have the story wrong. You have writings from people 5,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 12,000 years ago. That's all you got. But what about the couple 100,000 years of history and human achievement and human exploration and human traveling and, you know, where is all this stuff? We just hadn't found it yet. Maybe it wasn't written down, but that doesn't mean it didn't exist. You know, the people are so busy trying to turn Muslims and Christians and Israelites away from their religions. Maybe the Bible has incorporated some of these stories because these stories were around at the time when certain events took place. So maybe they kind of mix things up. But that doesn't mean that his religion is false or wrong. It means he got some things wrong, but it doesn't mean that, you know, your version of the story is what it is. You just have an older version of the story, but you can't take it back to the beginning. You see, you can't take it back to the beginning. You have no record of the beginning. You just know they have it there at that time. So, I would say to any of the people of faith, whether especially Muslims, but also if you're a Christian or if you're Israelite or whatever, you understand, don't let these cometics pull you into that idol worship of us worshiping our ancestors or worshiping the people that came before us, because at least from the Islamic perspective, this is what we believe is the beginning of this belief, is a human being starting. He glorifies his ancestors at first, but this glorification of his ancestors eventually turns to worship, and this is a grave error. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.